Knowing that Mrs. Mallard was afflicted with heart trouble, great care was taken to break to her as gently as possible the news of her husband's death.
You know she has a heart trouble.
How do we tell her that her husband's death?
We have to be very careful. You know her heart can't be stand her husband's news.
It was her sister Josephine who told her in broken sentences. Mrs. Mallard did not hear the story as many women have heard the same with a paralyzed inability to accept its significance. She wept at once, with sudden wild abandonment in her sister's arms.
I'm sorry for your loss. I want to go my room to be alone.
Suddenly the notes of a distant song which someone was singing reached her faintly, and countless sparrows were twittering in the eaves. She was young, with a fair, calm face, whose lines bespoke repression and even a certain strength. The vacant stare and the look of terror that had followed it went from her eyes. They stayed keen and bright. Her pulses beat fast, and the coursing blood warmed and relaxed every inch of her body. She did not stop to ask if it were or were not a monstrous joy that held her. A clear and exalted perception enabled her to dismiss the suggestion as trivial. She knew that she would weep again when she saw the kind, tender hands folded in death, the face that had never looked save with love upon her, fixed in gray and dead. But she saw beyond that bitter moment a long procession of years to come that would belong to her absolutely. And she opened and spread her arms out to them in welcome.
I'm free. There will not to be no one to live with me during those coming years. I would live for myself. There would be no powerful will bending me in that blind persistence with which men and women believe they have a right to impose a private will upon a fellow creature. I am free. Free. Free body and soul free. What are you doing here, Louise? You will make yourself ill. Go away. I am not making myself ill. I'm worried about you. Please come downstairs with me.
There was a feverish triumph in her eyes, and she carried herself unwittingly like a goddess of victory. She clasped her sister's waist, and together they descended the stairs. Richard stood waiting for them at the bottom. Are you a little better, Louise?
I am.
Someone was opening the front door with a latchkey. It was Brindley Mallard who entered, a little travel-stained, composedly carrying his gripsack and umbrella. He had been far from the scene of the accident, and did not even know there had been one. What is going on here? When the doctors came, they said she had died of heart disease, of the joy that kills.